Hello! And it is another week, another vlog, and today I might set myself a new personal best. Yeah, might. So here I am, back up in the woods, same woods as last week because it went quite well here. So I thought, yeah, I'll come back up here again. And I have been joined by Mrs. Me, who's on her bike there. Look, say hello, Mrs. Me. Yeah, there we are. And so she's going to do some cycling, which is a good thing to do on a bike generally, and I'm going to do some running. Now the reason I said that I might do a new personal best is because it is warm. Just to get a little bit of context, this is the final weekend of May, and we've had some unseasonably hot temperatures. There is a nice kind of easterly breeze though. Was it westerly? It was westerly. It comes from the east. I always get that wrong. And that means that it is sort of a little bit cooler, but of course when you start running you get hot. So just to put a bit of context here. My personal best at the moment, the furthest distance I've ever been, 12 kilometres, which, no it wasn't, 13 kilometres, get it right, 13 kilometres, which is before the lockdown really kicked in. The longest I've been since we started coming out of lockdown, 12 kilometres, so I'm just a little bit behind my personal best. So if I can beat the 13 today, great. If I can't, then well, one of those things, next week, I'll have another go. So before I get too out of breath, let's get running and I'll let you know how I did on the other side. I am knackered. There's, as I said in last week's video, if you saw it, there are quite a lot of ups and downs. The downs are okay, not so keen on the ups. Sorry, video jumped there, my phone rang, because my other half, she stopped after about 10k and went back to the car, took a bike back to the car. So she was just phoning because I tried to phone her when I finished the run. So anyway, as I was saying, there's a particular steep bit that I got to after about 7k, and there were quite a few cyclists walking up that hill, pushing their bikes. But I was running up the hill, I wasn't going quickly. I'm not trying to build my part up here, I was not going quickly. The other half, she cycled up it as well, good on her. So, I am back at the gate, if you remember from last week's video, and, oh yeah, I am knackered. That was quite, oh, what's going on here? Hang on. In the forest, always shut the gates. There we go. That was a public service announcement. Is that closed? Yes, it is. Good. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So, I'm gonna have to keep walking now. I've got to warm down, cool down. Anyway, so I suppose you're wondering how far I went. And you'll see I've got my ears in for the first 11k. Actually, until my wife went off back to the car, I didn't have my ears in. I was just listening to the forest. Actually, a deer, quite a big one actually, ran across my path at one stage, quite close to it. So that was nice. Didn't see any blokes urinating behind trees this week, which is an added bonus. Anyway, as I was saying, oh yes, so then I thought I was starting to struggle then, because it is hot today, it is warm. Even with the breeze, yeah, yes, it's warm. So I put these in. I thought I'm gonna have to try and run, even if it's slow-paced music. I'm gonna have to try and run through some music. I started listening to a podcast, but I gave up after about half a k and thought, no, I need something to pace myself here. So that's exactly what I did. Pace myself. Right, let's put the stats up on the screen over there. Now they're not, brilliant, but I'm still pleased with them because, as you can see, I have a new personal best, and that is 15k. So yeah, that's pretty good. Not something that I'm going to do that often. Don't they have defibrillators at these places these days? I went on a course here, you had to use one of those. I'm sure you couldn't actually do it to yourself though. Anyway, I'm back to the car now. My wife is sitting there, she's staring at me. She's sitting in the boot. So yeah, see you for the next run. Hello, it is exactly a week later, and of course I went out for my usual 5k jaunt during the week, but yeah, here we are then. So I'm back up the forest, and I'm going to sort of reflect a little bit on the massive 15k event. I'm going to reflect on that after this run, but I'm going to do 10k today, a mere 10k. I've come back up to the forest, different part of the forest actually this. It is a place that I've come to a few times before. I've come with a good lady wife as well, she's on her bike again. So let's get out, let's do this 10k, and then afterwards let's have a bit of a chat, let's munch through the epic 15k from last week. See you on the other side. There we are, 10k complete. Wonderful, that's good. Now, why didn't I push on from last week's epic 15k? Well, the reason that I didn't do that was because the 15k I did find quite tough actually, as you probably gathered with that last bit of video. I was pretty tired at the end of it. And actually the first sort of 11k or so was pretty much okay, although I was starting to kind of taper off a little bit towards the end of that first 11k. And I thought, I even thought at one stage, I don't know whether I can carry on. I talked about that 7k, that rise, that incline, that took a lot out of me. And I was thinking, I don't know whether I can. I thought it would be nice to match the 12k that I did the previous week. And then I thought, it'd be nice to match the 13k. So I set myself sort of little goals as I was going through that last 4k. And when I got to 13k, I thought, it'd be nice to set a new record. Got to 13 and a half, thought, that's a half, I want a round number. So I'll get to 14. When I got to 14, it's only another kilometre. By that time, I was going pretty slowly. So slowly that at one stage, a toddler on all fours crawled past me. Yeah, okay, I might have made that bit up, but I was going slow. And I thought, this is really hard. Now, I sort of have kind of thought about that during the week. Thought, why did I find it hard? Because I've done 12k before. In fact, the previous week I did 12k and I found that okay. And of course I did 13k a few weeks ago before the lockdown kicked in. And again, that was okay. So I think it could be a number of different things, a number of different reasons why. And it could be a combination of all of those. For example, I went out earlier in the day. Normally I tend to go out a bit later, maybe sort of 3-4 o'clock, something like that. But my wife and I have been out, we walked the dogs, got home, and then we went straight out because she was coming with me on her bike, as she has again today, come for a cycle. And maybe it was the fact that I'd only had breakfast. I hadn't had breakfast and lunch before I went out, although of course, I wait until my dinner's gone down before I go out, of course. But I had only had one meal. I only had breakfast, and that was sometime before when I went out. So, because we ended up having quite a late lunch. I didn't finish the run until 1:15. So it was quite a few hours since I'd had breakfast. Maybe that had something to do with it, I don't know. It was, of course, hot. Not boiling, not really humid, but, still warm. And I know I'm not the only person. I've had lots in the comments, and I know lots of people as well who do suffer a little bit from the heat. So, could be that. I don't know what else, really. I suppose, again, it was the distance. Maybe it's like a mental thing. A little mental challenge of trying to go that, knowing that I wanted to go that distance. So it's very odd. In fact, even my wife on her bike, she gave up after 11k. She was on her bike because she found it a little bit hot and she thought, I'm going to go back to the car. And the other problem there, and this could be another reason, was she had the water in her carrier on her bike. And when she went off at 11k, she took it with her. So I didn't have any water, and actually I hadn't had a drink. We stopped about 3k. Well, I say stopped. We had a really nifty little system where she stopped up ahead of me, and I ran up, took the bottle of water, had a drink, ran in a circle, and then gave it back to her. Yeah, it was like a pit stop, on a moving pit stop when you go on one of these running events. It was very slick. So we did that at about 3.5k, something like that, 4k maybe, and then I had like a little kind of energy bar thing, squishy thing, I don't know what you call them. I had one of those because that actually goes inside my little rucksacky bum bag thing. And what am I saying? And so that's quite good. So I could have that, and I had that about halfway, about 7.5k. But I had had nothing since then. And of course, I got to 11, she disappeared, and I thought I really could do with a drink. So of course, when I got back to the car, I really took all the fluids then, and I was okay. Actually, another thing I wanted to say, I was absolutely fine after the run, even though yes, it was tough. I was absolutely fine that evening and the next day, and I thought, what am I going to be like? No giddiness, no achy limbs or anything. It was fine. So I was really pleased about that. That was a good thing. But yeah, because the other thing could be, and I mustn't overanalyze it, is it could just be that it was one of those days, you know. Perhaps I just didn't, you know, that wasn't going to be the day that I really should have done the 15k. But, you know, there's no point really in overanalyzing it. You shouldn't be, as somebody put in the comments recently, a slave to the figures, to the numbers. So I just really want to be positive about it, and I am going to be positive that I made 15k and I set a new personal best, and I should be really chuffed about that. And yeah, 10k today went well, really pleased about that. And yeah, good. Right, anyway, I'm going to try and find Mrs. Me, who I think is probably, oh yeah, she's back at the car, I can see. She has gone back to the car, she's not sitting near the boot this week. So yeah, get back to the car, get back home, and have a nice cup of tea. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, as always. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. Hit the little subscribe thing, that notification bell, and you'll find out when there's more videos. I hope you've been able to hear this okay, because it's a bit breezy today, so I hope this the audio's been all right in this little bit of video. Thanks again so much for watching, and keep those comments coming, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.